Hello, I'm Marco Bracamontes, and welcome to Conexion Latina, a series on Hispanic business. On today's program, we will explore the topic of networking and how it will help you to succeed as an entrepreneur. Over the next half hour, we will provide you with many practical pieces of information focusing on the purpose and methods of networking. I will also visit with restaurateur Michael Cordua and share his inspiring story with you. So stay tuned. It's time for Conexion Latina.
The most important aspect of networking is to be consistent. By consistency, you want to speak the same message and you want to be there all the time. This is not a part-time job. Networking is full-time.
After you met a new contact, be sure to put notes on the back of their card to remind yourself where you met them and what you talked about.
When networking, remember, the more you give, the more you will get back.
Good networking involves trust, so be honest. Good contacts take long to develop.
You need to practice and practice your elevator speech, your 30-second introduction. Know what you're going to say when someone says, "So what do you do?"
The internet is one of the best tools for networking. There is a great amount of information there.
When networking, of course, when someone gives you a business card, always be sure to follow up in a few days.
Always volunteer and get involved. It's a great way to meet new people and new contacts.
En esta ocasión estamos con una verdadera estrella del ambiente empresarial hispano y precisamente en un restaurante que se llama Artista, y en este caso la estrella es Michael Cordua, quien es fundador de una empresa de restaurantes muy exitosa. Bienvenido, Michael. Cuéntanos cómo llegaste a Estados Unidos.
Bienvenido a Artista, Marco. Yo vine aquí a Estados Unidos con intención de regresarme a Nicaragua. Vine aquí a estudiar en el año 76 y luego en el 79 tuvimos la revolución comunista en Nicaragua. Eso me forzó a mí cambiar de planes y a quedarme aquí en Estados Unidos.
¿Te viste forzado a quedarte? ¿Cuál fue la decisión?
Bueno, viendo la alternativa entre regresar a un país comunista, no la veía muy atractiva. Entonces decidí quedarme aquí en Estados Unidos y buscar un porvenir. En esos entonces mi papá estaba trabajando en el negocio de los barcos en Nicaragua y me recomendó que me metiera a ese negocio, que fuera a México a entrenarme. Pero un amigo mío me recomendó que me quedara aquí en Houston, que era un puerto mucho más grande, de más importancia, y que aquí iba a ganar más experiencia. En efecto, así fue. Me quedé en Houston durante el auge petrolero que tuvimos en los 80s y estuve ahí por 6 años hasta el 86.
¿Qué pasó en el 86? ¿Cómo decidiste, cuál fue la transición a arrancar tu propio negocio y empezar en los restaurantes?
Bueno, en esos años, si recuerdas, Houston estaba por los suelos, la economía estaba malísima, no había trabajo esencialmente. Entonces, parte de mis opciones pues era abrir un negocio. Y la cocina siempre había sido mi hobby, mi pasión, lo que yo hacía con mi tiempo libre cuando no me pagaban. Y era un sueño mío en abrir un restaurante y me vi con esa oportunidad en ese momento de que no tenía trabajo, tenía que buscar cómo ganarme la vida y decidí abrir churrascos.
¿En qué consistió tu idea al crear churrascos?
Pues yo le quería traer al público de Houston lo que era la comida latinoamericana. Ellos conocían, la comida mexicana era muy famosa, es muy famosa aquí en Houston, pero la comida latina no la conocían. Entonces esa fue la visión de churrascos, traerles la hospitalidad y la cocina latinoamericana a la ciudad de Houston.
¿Cómo fue la transición de tu primer concepto al segundo?
Hombre, fue dificilísimo. El primer lugar que yo traté de rentar en la ciudad para abrir el restaurante era muy cerca del centro de la ciudad. Y como no tenía experiencia y era hispano y no tenía idea de lo que era la comida latinoamericana, me iban rechazando. Y el primer lugar que me dijo que sí fue a 11 millas de la ciudad, que fue en Bisonet cuando abrimos en el 88. Ya, pero fue duro, pero la persistencia, ahí va.
Tu último concepto, Artista, ¿cómo lo desarrollaste?
Mira, Artista ya viene siendo una expresión más liberada de mis habilidades culinarias. Ya no solamente trayendo mis raíces latinas, sino también lo que me has expuesto a mí, por ejemplo, en el negocio de los barcos, que viajaban mucho por el mundo. Mi paladar se ha ido expandiendo. Entonces, Artista incorpora una cocina más internacional, sin ser continental, como se dice tradicionalmente, sino que ves ingredientes asiáticos, ingredientes latinos, ingredientes europeos, mediterráneos, hindús, van todos mezclados aquí con cierta armonía al final. Y artista, porque estamos en un teatro, ¿ya? En donde tú como cliente puedes escoger en el menú. Tú eres parte del arte de la cocina. Cuando tú ves el menú aquí, puedes escoger el platillo principal, con qué salsa la quieres y con qué verdura lo quieres. Puedes cambiar. Tú eres el diseñador de tu comida cuando vienes acá.
Y por último, eres muy activo en diversas organizaciones benéficas, caritativas. ¿Cómo nace y qué sentido tiene para tu negocio?
No tanto para el negocio como para el sentido personal. O sea, es lo correcto de hacer, de responder a las necesidades de la comunidad. A mí en particular, por ejemplo, Casa de Esperanza de los Niños es una obra de caridad que venimos ya 15 años apoyando. Niños de Nicaragua es otra. En particular me atraen las caridades que son por los niños o que van por la educación. Para mí es muy importante que especialmente el hispano se eduque, porque si no se educa no avanza. O sea, nuestro peor enemigo que tenemos es la falta de educación. Entonces, esas dos caridades que van con la niñez y que van con la educación hispana están muy cerca de mi corazón.
Muchísimas gracias, Michael, por tu hospitalidad.
Marco, al contrario, muchas gracias a ti.
Esta ha sido una entrevista con Michael Cordúa, fundador de Cordúa Restaurants, creador de muchos conceptos y ahora artista.
Cocinero, digamos.
Para Conexión Latina. Welcome to Tools of the Trade. We will spend a few minutes learning about using the internet as a networking tool. I'm here with Brian Emerson, a networking expert. Brian, where do we start?
Marco, let me tell you a little bit about how I developed a 50,000 person database over 5 years through networking. And it really starts off with a good business card. There are some great sites on the internet where you can get free or low-cost business cards like the one I have here. Most business cards should have a clean background, probably white, consistent information, clear, make sure the spelling is right, and maybe a word or two that describes what you're doing.
What would you consider the next step after you have a good business card?
The second step in my mind would be to have a website. And there are many sites, again, free or low cost, where you can develop websites. I know HP has one. WebExsites is another that allows you to go in, design your own website. It's really easy in any language and show to the world what you're doing.
And how do you go about learning what you're doing? How do you describe yourself?
Well, you really need to know yourself. And there are several sites that allow you to do that. Let me give you an example. One is entrepreneur.com. Entrepreneur has templates and forms where you can go in, ask yourself questions, answer those, and help you come up with the right message.
Very important. Can you think of a bilingual website that does the same?
Claro que sí. I'm thinking of Mi Negocio, and that's one that would allow people to go in, ask a series of questions, and come up with answers that will really help them develop a message that will be right for them.
Very important when you're starting a business or promoting yourself, you have to describe what you do very clearly. What would you think is the #1 website to do networking for small businesses?
I believe the best is the Small Business Administration. It allows you to go in either in English or Spanish and not only look at things from kind of the highest level, but really drill down to your community to find resources that you could use to be successful.
That's great, Brian. When we come back, Brian and I will navigate the website for the Small Business Administration in depth. Don't go away. We're back. Now Brian is going to show us one of the most important networking tools on the internet, the website sba.gov. Brian, why is it important for networking, this website?
SBA.gov has information from many, many sites aggregated onto this one, both in English and in Spanish. You'll notice they have a place where you can go and click on in Espanol. But I'll tell you the way I use it is, for instance, when I'm traveling, I've got to go next week to Los Angeles. And so I'll come here to the home page. I'll go over to California, click on that. I'll go down to Los Angeles where I'll be visiting. And I will actually get to the Latin Business Association, which lists all their events. So I've gone to that site. I've then entered business information from the people that I'm going to see on my personal digital assistant. And that allows me to know where they are, when they're going to be there. My calendar tells me where I need to be so I can be responsive and at the right place at the right time. Also, I'm able to transmit my business card to them electronically so that we can exchange easily. These have come down so much in price, they're really indispensable networking tools.
How much are these devices nowadays?
They're probably around $100, but there are a lot of shopping sites on the internet that will help you find the best deal for you. Again, it allows me to pull off some of my notes, and then I write a thank you note back to the person whom I'm visited to be responsive and personal, to let them know that I care about what they're doing, and that helps ensure networking success.
Follow-up, that's a key word in networking. How do you continue in touch with people out of town?
Well, I use my PDA to remind me when I need to see people, especially when I'm visiting different cities. And when I've written them last, what we've discussed, it's been a great tool. And between SBA.gov, either in English or Spanish, and a PDA, one should be successful in networking.
Thank you very much, Brian. Very useful information. Now, a few more networking tips you should know.
Networking is an opportunity to spend time with people you don't know. So don't spend time with people you do know at any networking event. That's not going to get you anywhere.
To be honest, networking makes me nervous, but I know it would help me succeed.
Don't brag, but when you're networking, be proud of what you do well.
Networking is a great tool to get new insights, to solve old problems, or get new ideas.
Knowledge is such power. The more people you know, the better you are, and no one can take that knowledge from you. Network as often as you can.
When you're networking, always find a way to help the people that help you.
One way I like to network is to have my own event, my own party, bring people together to connect, have new friends.
When you meet someone, you should remember their name. It's a good idea to repeat their name twice if you meet them for the first time.
Joining me in the studio now are two talented and successful networking professionals, Linda Marroquin and Terry Hernandez. Linda is the founder and CEO of FrogPad, a technology company that has developed an innovative portable keyboard. Terry Hernandez is the chairman and CEO of Hernandez Engineering, a company that provides technical support to many aeronautical businesses. Her company is in 7 states and employs over 400 individuals. Linda and Terry, thanks for joining us on Conexion Latina.
Thank you.
Linda, you have a very unique approach to networking.
Yes. Well, one of the original questions was, what is it that I did in terms of getting the company funded or financed? And in this market, it's been very difficult to get a technology company funded. So one of the things that I did was start working with those kinds of companies out there that would need my product, approaching them, and then having them work with me on developing my product, the technology applications of my product, funding the development of the product, and then setting up some sort of deferred payments for the technology until that point when we finally do get funded.
How do you approach them in first place?
Well, first you have to get them very excited about the technology and let them know how valuable it is for what they're doing. For instance, one of my technology partners developed my Bluetooth technology, which is a wireless technology that's getting very, very popular now. And for them to explore the possibility of launching their Bluetooth technologies, they found my product a perfect venue to install their Bluetooth technologies, make my product Bluetooth, and actually, you know, making it one of the technologies that's being considered all over the world for mobile and PDA technologies.
Terry, what is your approach to networking?
I guess that the biggest focus that we have is to be a quality company. Now, in our area, the Johnson Space Center area, we have the Bay Area Strategic Partnership. And this allows companies like us that work for the government to get together, to get also together with our customers and talk about how can we cooperate and at the same time support the space program.
Linda, what is at the core of every networking effort?
Well, one is focus. What is it that you're looking to accomplish? What do you want to generate? And then second is finding the right venue for that. Just to go to a networking event in an evening, if really no one's going to be there that has any significance to your business, doesn't really make any sense.
Do you make goals before you go to a venue?
Of course, when you go to a social, you know exactly who is going to be there. You know exactly what type of contracts are going to come up, either for recompetition or new contracts in our business. So you try to focus on who you should talk with, just to make sure that you understand what type of businesses are approachable. Is this something that you're interested in? And which companies would you like to team with in order to compete for that procurement? So that's what makes our industry so interesting. Not only you support the challenges that the space program has today, but also you work with industries that want to make the mission a successful one.
Is the purpose to make up the largest database possible?
For the company?
Yes.
Well, in my instance, it's very critical for me to network with those companies that already have an extraordinary distribution network. I want to tap into theirs. For me to try to create a whole new distribution network doesn't make sense as a small company.
Is your network only business? Do you mingle with nonprofits or other associations to broaden your spectrum of prospects?
Right. We have partnership with the University of Houston at Clear Lake. We also belong to a program called SATOP, and what we do is companies in the space industry get together and we sponsor young people to obtain scholarships. We also go to different schools, be in elementary, be in secondary. And again, it's all to make children aware of the importance that the space program has for their lives today and for their lives in the future.
Joining associations, joining groups, how many, what kind of groups would you recommend people to join?
Well, again, it's very much committed to the focus of the company. My industry groups are pretty much national and international. Locally, you have to look for those kinds of companies that might be developing technology that would interface with your technology. In my case, I'm finding them more on an international level.
And you stay in touch with people you network with. How often do you stay in touch with them?
Well, if you're talking about organizations, the Space Center Rotary is very important in our community, not only because it allows us to, let's call it mingle, not network because that's something Space Rotary doesn't believe in, but to mingle with other entrepreneurs and to support the community in all of the magnificent goals that the Space Rotary has. We also have something called NCMA, and this is where all of the so-called procurement people from the different companies mingle with the contracting officers that Johnson Space Center has. So that allows us to get together and learn more of new things that are coming into our area. Another one is NMA. NMA is mainly for employees. It's a management association that different companies sponsors. Now, NMA gets together once a month. But as companies, CEOs, CFOs, supervisors, they all come together at least one every 6 months. The partnership, they get together every single month and more as needed. SWAPRA, it's really a business development type of networking. So companies in our industry make sure that they belong to these different organizations to just keep in touch. Sometimes you don't do it for the business because the business is in reality with the government. And how much networking you can do for the government, that is really how good you are. You know, quality of your services. That's what makes you successful or not. But you need to keep in touch with those that are in the same industry, just to make sure that we're all doing the same thing and what is right.
Linda, what stands out when you meet someone who wants to network with you?
I think maybe when you share with them what it is you do and you see a light in their eye, you see that they get it, then that opens up a whole arena for you to just start delving a little bit more into what they're doing and seeing how you might be able to cooperate with each other.
How to identify that they get it factor that she's mentioned?
I don't know what they get it, is, you know, what Linda means by that. But when people network with you, okay, the main thing is how can you find a partnership? And maybe that they get it is how can we help each other to be successful doing something?
Does chemistry play a role?
Chemistry plays a great role. That if our personalities don't come together, it's very difficult to do business with an individual. Honesty, for me, is the most important thing. You have to believe in the individual. The individual has to be not only honest as a business person, but also, you know, in our industry, which is working with the government. You need to work with people that understand the guidelines that the government has and that they are compliant, not only to what the agency is expecting of you, but all the other agencies that we really play a role with.
What is the worst you can do in a networking situation?
Maybe talk too much about yourself. Do some real research before you go and then really delve into the companies that you're meeting with and see how possibly they can work with your company.
Do you have to avoid, you know, kind of superficial matters?
Well, I would say that you would want to do that all the time. I think that if people go to events, they're already committed to a particular topic or a particular industry. So the conversations already are going to be about that. Now it's just a matter of going through and finding those people who are committed to their companies and committed to doing business development and committed to possibly listening about new possibilities.
Do you avoid someone that talks to you about something like dress code or, you know, something superficial?
There are certain people that you try to avoid, and these are the pushy people. You have to be very careful how hard you push and how you introduce yourself. Sometimes the best thing is just to say hello, it's nice seeing you, and walk away from a situation. But for sure, there's some people that you want to talk with, and there's some people that you just prefer not to.
What is the best piece of advice you can give to someone who's going to start a company or, you know, who's going to start in his professional life?
The first thing is your own commitment to your product or your technology or your services. You have to not only have a sense of a foundation, a solid foundation, you have to have passion. And if you are really committed to do your technology, then share that passion with everyone. Share it with everyone. Not everyone will get it, but if you really share yourself and share your passion and you are committed to it and you stick to it because you know it's going to occur no matter what, that'll make a huge difference to people when they see that you're still there 2, 3, 4 years later.
What is your key piece of advice?
Well, commitment is number one, role model. You know, having a business is a 7-day, 24-hour job, and people need to see you there. They need to see your commitment. They need to see, you know, like Linda says, your passion, and you need to work side by side. They need to know that you will be there with them until up to an hour of the morning if it has to be done. And when they see you doing those things, you know, the passion is there from all of your employees. And we have been, you know, blessed by being surrounded in our corporate office mainly by people that believe in what we believe, and the hours that they need to work, you know, I'm thankful for every single day.
Linda, Terry, thank you very much for joining us on Conexión Latina. Thank you all for watching. My name is Marco Bracamontes, bidding you adios.